steady as she goes, dude, and crank up those tunes.
It comes in denim. It comes in denim. It comes in denim.
Hurry, your eyes don't deceive you. Yes, I am back to wearing long sleeve attire because today, after having a few days of spring-like weather here in Washington, nature said, and decided to have 40-degree weather and pure rain all day long. In fact, we've been having downpours pretty much all morning. It is completely soaked outside. Because of that, the temperatures are very cool. And I was thinking, man, if I wear shorts today, legit, I'm going to be cold. So here I am again in pants and a long sleeve flannel. So that's why it looks a little weird. You know, like, wait a minute, he was wearing his spring attire. Why is he going back? I predict the next couple of weeks will be like this, where it's going to bounce back and forth with the climate until we fully settle into the warmer springtime weather. And I'm already planning to order the weather seal tape, the foam and everything to install my air conditioner likely in the next couple of weeks. I firmly believe that once we hit early April, we're going to have warmer weather. I'm going to need the air conditioner here in the studio. Notably, I've noticed, since I now not only have a 2-PC setup, but now I have dual monitors in my face, it's getting a lot stuffier and warmer in here more quickly, probably because of the equipment change. So I'm going to need the air conditioner sooner rather than later. Anyway, we don't have a lot of people here as of yet, but that's the purpose of the DSP Morning Show, to build up attendance.
You got a little bit of knife hand, buddy? Huh?
Ginger? This guy's name is Ginger, and he's a streamer on YouTube. He says, it's Copper Cab. Would you be down to do a one-off show together sometime? I think it'd be a lot of fun. Much love. Hope your day's a good one. I have no idea who you are. Let's see. Can I actually see your channel? Go to channel. My browser's freezing. Great. I wanted to check out your channel and my browser's freezing.
Tell me!
What the hell is this all about? Gingers? Oh my god. Wow, you've been making videos since you were a kid. Holy shit. Look, 13 years ago, 16 years ago, and you were getting millions of views on your videos then. You haven't posted videos in a long time. Do you do live streams? No. Okay. Why would you want to collab with me? You do content based around being a ginger. And I'm furthest from it. Yeah. I don't know. Well, I don't know what kind of content you would like to make. It looks like you haven't made content in 6 months and haven't live streamed in years. You can always email me at darksydephil@hotmail.com, or you could DM me on X. I'm at They Call Me DSP. That's how you can reach out to me if you want to talk about business stuff, all right? Thanks for stopping by. Who else do we got today? I'm going to say the name because people will try to say that I said the N-word. I don't dwell on it. I don't sit here trying to grandstand. I don't try to change people's hearts and minds, right? I just tell you, hey, here's my thoughts, and then that's it. I got plenty of things to do. That's the thing. I'm not just sitting here waiting for Crimson Desert to be a hit, and I need it to be successful in my content. I don't. I have tons of things to do, okay? It seems like some creators, they just need a big game. And so because they need a big game, they thought Crimson Desert was going to be it, and Crimson Desert came out, and a lot of people didn't like it, and they're like, oh, crap, now what do I make content on? So they're like championing this game, absolutely insisting that people must like it, that if you don't like it, it's because you're not approaching it the right way. I hear these attitudes on the internet, and I'm like, listen, people look for certain things in video games, correct? And everyone's different. Let's be honest. Not everyone is all looking for the same content, the same thing from a game. Some people, when they buy a video game, the only thing that they want is a satisfying gameplay loop. They just want something that they can unplug their brain and they could just sit there doing a menial task over and over, and that's good enough for them. There's entire genres of games based on that style of game. Whether they're mobile games, sim games, or all you do is a menial repetitive task. And to some people, that's actually genuinely relaxing because it unplugs them from the chaos of their daily life and allows them to do something menial, trivial, and repetitive. And that's enough for them to just gel and release their stress. Okay? For some people, it actually is about challenge. I want gameplay that's challenging. I don't want to just sit there and just tap. I want to do something that engages my brain, whether it's a game that really makes you think, a game like maybe Slay the Spire 2, or maybe a game that's very difficult, and you need to actually adapt and adjust and learn the game system and play at a high skill level. Let's say like a FromSoft game, okay? Those are different kinds of games. They're both perfectly viable games, okay? Some people want story. They literally say, listen, I like a story, but I want a game that's interactive, okay, but also has a great narrative. I want to be immersed in a world. I want to be immersed in lore and a story and something where I care about the characters and I care about what's going on in the plot, right? Now, here's the thing. I'm a variety creator, all right? I don't just play one genre of game. I'm not just a one-trick pony where you come to my channel and you see me do the one thing over and over. I do a million different things, okay? So at one stream, I'm playing Street Fighter 6, and it's about the gameplay. But then another stream, it's Slay the Spire, and it's about thinking and RPG mechanics. And then I come to another stream, it's action-based stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's all different every stream. That's cool. When I play a game like Crimson Desert, and I enter it with absolutely no preconceived notions, I just want to judge it for face value. And I play it for 5 hours. And for those 5 hours, right, basically I enjoy the graphics, the traversal, the world design, the questing. The audio design was great too, right? In fact, the only criticism I have is the gameplay, meaning the combat. But the combat is so undercooked, so not well designed, so implemented poorly, that the 1 hour that I did combat in my 5-hour stream, I hated every moment. I know it's not for me. Like, I'm like, that's it. I turn it off. You know, why am I going to torture myself playing this further? Either fighting minions and general enemies is way too easy. Fighting the bosses is completely underdesigned and way too hard. I don't care. I have a million other things to play that I'll enjoy better. I don't need to play this game any further. I've shown you what I've shown you. I've explained and justified my opinion. I'm done. Okay? But there are these people on the internet who, like, absolutely, positively need you to see things their way. Okay? There are creators who are championing this game and they're like, you just don't get it. When you played Crimson Desert the first time and you didn't like it, it's because you approached it with a mindset that's not of this kind of game. Don't you understand that this is just a sandbox? And in a sandbox, it's not about the story, and it's not about the combat. It's about the overall experience and the fact that it's huge and there's so much content. So stop nitpicking and stop going after certain aspects of the game, but instead have an open mind and understand everything is you can overcome everything. You just have to think differently, right? And you hear that kind of opinion, like, listen, I get it. Maybe some people have played this style of game before or more often than me, and so maybe they can understand it better. But I want you to think about that. If you have to explain to the general gaming audience that this game is different, maybe that's not a good thing. If you have to explain to the general gamer who all they want to do is pay money to play an enjoyable gameplay experience, if you have to hold their hand and guide them through the way to enjoy the game, maybe the game has some shortcomings. Maybe that's the fault of the game and the game devs, that they didn't do a good job of making a game that was accessible, that was easily enjoyable, without someone basically giving you a guide on how to play it. Does that make sense? To give you an example of what I'm saying here. Yes, the one boss that I fought, okay? Basically, you can't fight the boss. What does that mean? That boss with the double drill arms, Excavator, whatever the fuck his name is, right? You can't fight him. If you try to fight him head up, you have to grind and be over leveled to beat him. Basically, you need to get tons of health, tons of damage, stuff like that. The only other way to beat that boss is to actually experiment with all of the abilities in the game. So if you remember, there's a couple abilities in the game that we have already. There's one that's a palm strike, that's a stun. The basic palm strike does not affect him at all, but apparently if you level it up to level 3, it stun locks him. So he gets stunned, you can wail on him, and then it's charged again, then you do it again, and you wail on him, and that's how you beat him. It's actually like simple as pie, right? Super easy, but you need to have had the powered palm. That's the only way to beat him with that move. Or, supposedly I've heard this too, you know how there's the ability you raise your sword to the sun and you like deflect light and it's supposed to like reveal things in the environment? Apparently it stuns the boss. Why? I don't know. That'd be the equivalent that you're playing Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and you know the puzzle mechanics you use to move stuff around and build carts and shit? Well, imagine the first boss, you can't ever hit him, but you have to use that to grab him and it beats him. Why? What does that have to do with the combat? Nothing. But that's how you beat the boss. Seriously. Like apparently when that boss is going to go into the ground, you shine your sword at him and he gets stunned and then you can do a full combo and you just do it over and over. As soon as he goes to the ground, you shine again and you can beat. So basically that boss is an easy pushover, but you need to know how to beat him, meaning you need to cheat or you need to sit there endlessly experiment. So I want you to think about this. They made a game that has combat and you either use it to completely decimate boring opponents that are so easy to beat that it's insanely repetitive, grindy, and just not fun. Or you have to completely ignore the combat mechanics because they don't work in boss fights, and instead it's a puzzle. Like it's literally the equivalent of if you go to play Mega Man, okay? And the first boss is, I don't know, Top Man, okay? So how do you beat Top Man? Well, in Mega Man, you could beat Top Man by jumping around, dodging his attacks, and shooting him with the Mega Buster. Or you could use his weakness. Now, I'm trying to remember what it is. Is it hard fist or weaknesses, right? Imagine if you're playing a game and the only way to beat Top Man is to use the weakness. Nothing else works. If you don't have the weakness, you can't beat him. That's Crimson Desert. Okay, so you need to know that when you're playing Crimson Desert, but how would you know it unless you already researched the game online and cheated yourself of a first-time experience with the game? This is why people don't like Crimson Desert. They all bought it. They went to play it. They said, this game is stupid. It doesn't play like another game. It's dumb. It's frustrating. The combat sucks. The bosses are too hard. This is stupid. And they all tapped out and left. And now, a week later, you got people who are like, you played it wrong. No, they didn't play it wrong. They played it like a video game. You know, like every other fucking game that's ever existed. That's how they played it. Like a normal person just saying, I want to spend money to sit down, grab my controller, and play your game and enjoy it. Not, I have to research 400 hours to fucking figure out the nuances of your game because it's so different from every other game, and then be shamed after the fact because I told you I didn't like that. Like, what are you talking about? So, to be honest, yeah, I think it's funny that there's creators out there that, like, they need people to like the game. And you got to wonder why. Is it because they were planning on making a bunch of content out of it, and because half the people don't like the game, they were worried that no one's going to watch the content? Is it because maybe a lot of these people were in cahoots to promote the game, and therefore if half the people don't like the game, it's a flop? You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. It's very weird. The sales are going up. They started with 2 million sales based on pre-orders. As of this morning, they hit 3 million in sales. So the sales are going up, okay? And I think what will happen is, as people learn what the game actually is. If, for example, now everyone knows how to beat that boss. So now anyone who plays the game immediately will run to the boss and beat it first try. Because they know, oh, just stun it with the light or charge the palm, you know? And that's, I think, what this game's going to be. Everyone just goes online, looks at a guide, figures out how to beat everything, and that's how they go through the game. Going through the game genuinely trying to figure it out first time is actually horrible. It's not enjoyable. Because you just need to know the solution. Like, every boss is a puzzle rather than a fight. Again, imagine you're playing a FromSoft game, and you get to the first boss, and there's no way to beat the boss unless you have this special technique. That's the opposite mentality of what I like in a game. What I liked about Elden Ring is that I ran into the first optional boss, and even though it was insanely hard, I learned his pattern, and I beat him within 2 hours, even though no one else did. I overcame that challenge, and that was fun and meaningful, and it felt great to do it. Okay? This game, you can't do that. This game, it's like, fuck it all. You just need to know the one way to beat each boss and cheese them, and then you get to the next part of the game. Like, that's stupid. It's also funny because some people are like, well, the game gets good 12, 20, 30 hours in. Most people don't have that time to waste anymore. All right? Once you get to be an adult, you don't have 30 hours to waste to get to the good part of the game. You want the good part of the game now. Because that's why you bought it, to get enjoyment now. Not later, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month. Now. Get it? We want enjoyable games now. Not games with delayed gratification. My life is stressful enough. I don't need to have delayed gratification for a game I paid to enjoy. That's stupidity. That's called bad game design. And if people don't get it in 2026, I don't know what else to tell you. You need to give people good parts of a video game at the beginning, the middle, and the end. Not all in the middle and end. It's got to be at the beginning too. Or else there's no fucking point in playing the game. I'm not grinding through garbage to get to the good stuff because you don't know how to pace a game because you're a hack. It's that simple. Anyway, it's okay, again, if you like Crimson Desert, but I don't understand why people are trying to now collectively shove it down other people's throats who don't like it. That's actually what I don't understand. Like, to each their own, right? If I really like Slay the Spire 2, and I want you to enjoy me playing Slay the Spire 2, I'm going to express that to you, but I get to the point where I understand I can't make everyone like it. Right? Same thing with Dragon Quest. I love turn-based RPGs. I've come to accept the fact I'm not going to get everyone to like it. It's just something that's not for everyone. And that's Crimson Desert. Okay? Not everyone's going to like a sandbox. Not everyone's going to like a game where you have to endlessly try to figure out combinations of things to beat something because it's not a straightforward game where you can just learn. Instead, you have to guess. That's stupid in my opinion. I don't like that. I don't like, oh, I overcame this challenge because I randomly guessed the right thing to do. What? How about a progression system where over the course of the game, you learn, you get better, and then you're rewarded for the fact that you gained experience and honed in and gotten better at the game? No, just guess and find the puzzle answer to beating this. That is stupid. That is completely ass backwards to everything that I actually know about gaming. Seriously. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, McDonald's is going to be doing a K-pop Demon Hunters adult meal. Okay? Now, first off, I just want to clarify something. All right? I just said K-pop Demon Hunters, and then I said adult meal. K-pop Demon Hunters is not for adults. Is anyone aware of that? You know it's supposed to be for, like, teens and kids, right? Like, it wasn't an adult movie. I guess people don't know that. They're that stupid. It's not for adults. It's supposed to be like teeny bopper shit. Okay? For the record. McDonald's partners with Netflix hit animated film K-pop Demon Hunters for 2 themed adult meals starting March 31st in the US. There will be an all-day Hunter X or Huntrix, I don't know, I didn't see the movie, meal with a 10-piece McNuggets, Ram Yeon shaker fries, whatever the fuck Ram Yeon is, new Hunter and Demon sauces, and photo cards. Or the breakfast-only Saja Boys meal featuring a spicy McMuffin and more collectibles. The promotion draws from the film's rival K-pop groups and nods to Korean street food, echoing McDonald's past BTS meal. Fans are loving the photo cards and an app unlockable grand finale event, but some are saying they're going to skip it amid boycotts over labor and other issues. Okay? So first off, here's the meals. So this is the Huntrix or Hunter X meal. I don't know, because again, I didn't see the movie. So basically, it's 10 nuggets, which you can get right now. They're the same nuggets you can normally get. It's a soda. It's fries. So all normal food. The one thing that's different is that there's going to be a new sauce, apparently, to dip. Here, it's this. These are the sauces. The new sauce to dip the nuggets in. And you're going to get collectible cards. There's also a breakfast meal, which again is just the same McMuffin you can get right now, but they just put a sauce on it. The same hash brown and a drink. I don't know why they're showing a Coke. Who drinks Coke with their McMuffin? Have you ever had a Coke with your McMuffin? That's actually disgusting. And the fact that they're actually promoting it like that, saying drink Coke with your McMuffin, is kind of messed up. Like, it's breakfast. You shouldn't be drinking soda. They should totally show like an orange juice or something here. I don't know why they think they're promoting. That's messed up. Okay? So, anyway, the same exact breakfast you can get right now with a spicy sauce on it and collectible cards. Okay? Now, here's the thing. I don't necessarily protest it. Listen, apparently this thing was really popular. It's not for me. Let's be honest. I'm not the demographic for K-pop demon hunters. I don't think when they were designing this movie about two groups of K-pop artists that apparently also fight demons, I don't think that they were thinking about a 43-year-old white guy who streams video games for a living on YouTube. I think maybe they were thinking teens, girls, you know what I mean? I don't think they were really targeting me. So that's okay that I don't care about the culture of it or whatever it is. I didn't see the movie. That's fine. I don't even protest to them having the meal at McDonald's. That's okay. However, what I do protest to, okay, is that I've done some of these meals before for DSP Tries It. And if you remember, I did the Minecraft meal and I did the adult Happy Meal. And both times, when I tried the food, none of it was new. If you remember, always was the same food that you could get on the menu. If you remember with the Minecraft meal, they had a sauce, and I forget what it was called. I didn't remember. Was it like lava sauce or something like that? It was supposed to be like lava from a volcano, or from underground in Minecraft. I can't remember what it was called, a flare sauce or something like that. It actually sucked, but I mean, taste is subjective, right? I didn't like the sauce. With the McDonald's meal, like literally, no lie, there was nothing new at all, right? They didn't even attempt to add something new to the meal. Nether sauce, that's what it was called, Momo Chai. Thank you. It was called Nether sauce. I appreciate that because I forgot the name of it. With the adult Happy Meal that they did, there was nothing at all. It was just a bunch of cardboard cards and packaging. But here's the issue that I have with it, okay? They charge way more for it. Just because it's going to have this K-pop Demon Hunters box and it's going to have some kind of a special dipping sauce for your nuggets and stuff, they charge way more money. So the normal 10 McNugget meal, who knows, maybe it's like 10 bucks or something, 12 bucks. They're going to charge like 20 bucks for this meal. And people are dumb enough to get it. Like, they tried it with Minecraft, and the reason the Minecraft one worked is because the Minecraft movie had come out, right? So people wanted to tie it in with the movie. The movie was getting popular. Okay. Then they did the adult Happy Meal. And the push there was nostalgia, right? Because, oh, look, it's the old characters. It's the Hamburglar. It's Grimace. It's what's her name? I can't remember the birdies. And Birdie, I think is her name. So, oh, it's those nostalgic characters from our past, and they're back. In this case, they're tying it in with the K-pop Demon Hunters, right? But why are they going to charge more? Do you remember the price of the adult Happy Meal? It was $20. For what? It was a bunch of cardboard. Literally, it was cardboard. There was nothing else there. It was just the cardboard packaging. That was it. So, I think it's dumb that they push this like some big deal. I know what happens is people are just kind of, I hate to say it, brain dead. And they see, oh, the new collab meal. Well, everyone's doing it. Everyone's got to make a video on it. And everyone's got to put it on TikTok. And everyone's got to put it on YouTube. Well, I got to try it too. So then they run and they try the meal. And they overspend. And McDonald's makes a ton of money. Why do you think McDonald's is doing this collab meal? Honestly, K-pop Demon Hunters is old. You know that, right? The movie's old. And there's been no new content of it since. They are currently apparently developing more movies and content. But it's not out yet. So why are they doing this meal now? Because people are stupid. And people will run and consume just for the sake of being a part of a consumption event. Oh, everyone's doing it. I must do it too because I have no brain. Because I don't think for myself. I need to dump $20 on a McNugget meal that normally is $12 because there's cardboard involved. Because they're going to give me a collectible card that's worth nothing. They're going to give me a box that's worth nothing. Right? The sauce. So you might say, well, what is this special sauce? Because someone down here actually did break it down. Let me find it. Here it is. So here's the 2 new sauces that will be available. A sweet chili sauce, which they've already had. To be clear, sweet chili sauce already existed at McDonald's. They're just bringing it back. And a purple Cajun sauce. Again, they've already had it. McDonald's already had the Cajun sauce. They're just changing the color. They're dyeing it purple. And they're acting like it's a new sauce. When in reality, it already existed. So that's it. This is the only new thing about the meal is this sauce. Everything else already existed. There's nothing special about it whatsoever. So, now apparently there's some boycott going on against McDonald's. Did you hear about this? I didn't. I had absolutely no clue there was a boycott against McDonald's. They usually don't work, okay? When they try to organize these things, they don't usually work. It's just a few thousand people online who think that they know what they're talking about, and then no one cares, and people go anyway. I almost guarantee you that this meal will do incredibly well, and everyone's going to run out and buy it. I'm not going to. Why? Well, I don't care about K-pop demon hunters, okay? I don't care about chili sauce that we've already had. I don't care about a purple Cajun sauce. And I don't want to spend more money for something that's the same value as something that's much cheaper because of cardboard. So I'm going to forego doing this meal on March 31st because I'm not stupid. Okay? So I'm getting ahead of this one because I know what'll happen. If I don't bring this up, people will come to me and say, well, Phil, for DSP Tries It, you have to do the K-pop Demon Hunters meal. No, I don't. It's stupid. It's a waste of money and time, and I'm not going to waste time on it. Just like there's been many collab meals. The Wednesday meal back in the fall, where it literally was a bunch of fucking French fries and sauces to dip your stuff in that was randomized. You couldn't even control what sauces you were getting. You had no clue what sauces you were getting. They were going to give you random ones in the bag. Okay. These are not efforts to actually make a good product. This is called marketing to get stupid people to come back to McDonald's. You understand? That's all this is. This is, when you see this, you have to understand that the people who work for McDonald's are actually think you're so dumb that you're going to go spend extra money to get this marketing. That's it. They know they're not giving you a new food offering. Like, they didn't offer a new McNugget with new flavors. It's not a new sandwich. It's not new improved fries for you to try. It's the same slop you can buy there now, but you're going to pay more because they think you're stupid. So, there's not much else to say. Okay, let's move on. I'm not doing this meal. Don't ask me for it. Okay? Cool. Our next topic for today is that Asha Sharma, the current CEO of Xbox, and what's funny about that is that most people don't remember her name. Her name is Asha Sharma, okay? Has announced that she wants to lower the cost of Game Pass to make it more accessible to people, or she's thinking about doing ad-supported plans to win back casual players. And the rumor is that Xbox is talking with Netflix in order to bundle the service. So you'll get Xbox Ultimate plus Netflix together for a discounted price tag. Right now, for those who don't remember, just back in October, Xbox raised the price of Game Pass dramatically. Game Pass Ultimate jumped from $20 a month to $30 a month and added absolutely no value whatsoever to justify the $10 price tag increase. Besides, Xbox wants more money for the same. So this prompted hundreds of thousands of people across the globe to cancel their Game Pass subscriptions, and they have not renewed them. So that was probably one of the many things that led to Phil Spencer's exit from the company. Okay, it wasn't just the one thing, but definitely when you take the one big thing you've done that's been successful and you literally take the gun and you just shoot yourself in the foot because you're an idiot and you don't know how to run your company, yeah, you're going to get the boot. And that's exactly what happened. Okay, so this is interesting news Because when Game Pass first came out many years ago, if you recall, the reason that it was a big success and a big selling point was its price and value. That for originally, I think Game Pass was what, $15 a month? That for $15 a month, you're getting day one access to a whole bunch of new games, some of them first-party Xbox games, but in a lot of cases, a bunch of indie games, smaller scale games that maybe you would have skipped, but because they're on Game Pass, you get to experience them without any additional charge. You don't have to buy them outright. In addition, you get the Xbox Online service. So yes, if you have an Xbox console, you can play all your games online, right? And now they've added the cloud streaming feature where there's a bunch of games you don't even have to download. If you're going to play them, you just stream them over the cloud, okay? So that's kind of interesting, okay? That's why people liked it. That's why people thought the service was good. But then they just kept raising the price. And every time well, now it's $20 a month. Well, what are you giving us extra? Well, nothing. Well, now it's $30 a month. Well, what are you giving us extra? Nothing. Then what makes you think we're going to keep paying for it, right? I am one of the rare cases where because so much content ends up being under Game Pass, that I definitely benefit from keeping the subscription. But even right now, take a look at the games that I'm playing, right? Dragon Quest VII, Slay the Spire 2, in early access, Pokemon Fire Red, Street Fighter 6, a bunch of indie games, none of these are on Game Pass. Oh, so right now I'm paying $30 a month and even I'm not getting the value out of it. Oops, maybe I should cancel my subscription, and I'm a creator who benefits from having it more than most people. So even me, the case that I'm probably the person that stands to benefit most from Game Pass, currently right now, I'm kind of getting ripped off by Game Pass. See? So, yeah. So what they're now saying is that they want to try to either have lower priced plans or ad-supported plans. So, of course, the immediate thing that people start responding to is, that's just what we need, more ads. So let me get this straight. You want us to pay for the service, but then we're still going to get ads. And this has become something that has been almost like an epidemic when it comes to subscription services over the last several years. You're paying for the service, but then they're still giving you ads anyway. I was under the impression that when you pay for a premium for a service, that's because you're paying for the premium version of the service. But you know, no ads. Like think about cable TV. On what channels are there advertisements? The standard broadcasting channels, right? If you pay to have HBO or Showtime or a premium channel, are there ads on those channels? Not really. Yeah, there's ads on HBO for other HBO shows, so you know the lineup. But is there an ad for Coca-Cola on HBO? No, because you paid to have that premium movie channel on cable, right? So why is it now that you pay for the Netflix subscription, you pay for the Amazon Video subscription, you pay, there's ads. Why the fuck are there ads? You already bought the premium experience. Why do you now have to watch ads? So right now, there's no ads on Game Pass, but Game Pass is expensive. If they make it cheaper, yeah, you might go to open up your Game Pass app, and the first thing that you see is McDonald's K-pop Demon Hunters. Click here to learn more. No, I don't want to. I don't want. Get this the fuck out of my face, right? Coke promotion. Click here to save 5% on a 12-pack of Coke. No, we're the games. This is called Game Pass, right? Not advertisement service. Get this out of my fucking face. That's what they're going to become to get the discounted versions, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm seeing both sides. And by the way, let me get rid of this shitty song. No, I don't want elegant Baroque music. It's supposed to be happy music. It plays that shit. I see both sides. Like, listen, Game Pass is a tremendous value. I'm not going to lie. Even though right now, currently, I'm not playing anything under Game Pass, I have played quite a lot of games under Game Pass in the last couple of years, where I know for a fact I've probably saved hundreds upon hundreds of dollars paying $20 and now $30 a month rather than outright buying all the games that I have played on Game Pass, okay? Now, I can also understand that for some people, you can't afford $30 a month. So maybe you want $15 a month. And if it means that there's going to be some ads popping up in your face, maybe that's value added for you. And so maybe you are going to be the target audience for Asha Sharma's new Game Pass hybrid service, where it's kind of giving you games and streaming, but also it's kind of going to be giving you ads. Maybe some people would benefit from this. In fact, I would, because right now I have 2 separate subscriptions. I have Game Pass Ultimate and I have Netflix. If there was a unified sub for that, maybe I could save money by getting that. At the same time, if it means that I have to watch ads in order to do Game Pass, I don't want that. I mean, I pay right now more money for Xbox Premium. Excuse me, YouTube Premium. Why? Because I don't want to watch ads on YouTube. I could never use YouTube right now with ads all over it. It would drive me nuts. I can't imagine how some of you who even watch my content can stomach watching ads constantly on it. I don't know how you do it, but it's just kind of a necessary evil with the way that YouTube works, right? They're going to put ads on everything. So that's why I have the YouTube Premium subscription, and I pay it every month so I can actually use YouTube. If I was trying to use Game Pass and every time I went to play a game, there was a pop-up of an ad, imagine you're going to play Call of Duty and you have to watch a 3-minute unskippable fucking movie ad for some shit that you don't care about, right? Screw that, man. So they're on the way. They're heading towards that way. But what I do hope is that there are premium experiences that if you pay a little more, you avoid it. But I do agree with Asha Sharma on this one. The biggest misstep that Xbox did in the last few years was building up Game Pass to be their #1 value proposition to the customer, and then making it so expensive that they priced out the customer. I mean, that was just boneheadedly stupid. Phil Spencer deserved to be kicked out of the company the moment he announced that Game Pass was going up to $30 a month. That was it for him. That was the last nail in his coffin. Seriously, like, there was no way he was going to have longevity anymore with that company when he killed his own baby, essentially. So I think they're going the right way, but how will it happen? Will they actually offer more value? Or are they going to say, oh, ads? I don't know. Will they say, hey, Netflix is in with there? It's interesting. Let's follow it. Maybe I will get the hybrid subscription to let you know how it works. I certainly am not getting an ad-based subscription. There's absolutely no way I would torture myself that much, okay? All right. Epic Games has laid off over 1,000 employees overnight and has announced that 3 Fortnite modes are going to shut down permanently, including Rocket Racing, which literally is a ripoff of Rocket League, Ballistic, and the Festival Battle Stage. Okay? So here's the actual notice. Today we're laying off over 1,000 employees. I'm sorry we're here again. The downturn in Fortnite engagement that started in 2025 means we're spending significantly more than we're making, and we have to make major cuts to keep the company funded. This layoff, together with over $500 million of identified cost savings in contracting, marketing, and closing some open roles, puts us in a more stable space. So now I want you to think about this. Okay? Epic Games comes out with the most lucky venture ever in the history of gaming. They took a game that was supposed to be a tower defense game against zombies, and instead of releasing it, last minute, they make a course correction, and they decide to copy an already existing successful genre and turn it into a battle royale game instead. They throw away the zombies, they throw away the tower defense, and instead they make a cartoony construction / battle royale game. It completely blows up culturally. It becomes a phenomenon across the planet. Most profitable game, humongous hit. It's all over the place, right? So, what do? They take all this money they're making and they start their own video game delivery service with the Epic Games Store, right? They expand. They get all the IPs. Every single intellectual property is now in Fortnite. They create a million kinds of things in Fortnite. Fortnite, right? Fortnite becomes so big, you have an entire culture of online gamers who only talk about, stream, and play Fortnite. There's actual online courses teaching you how to become a full-time online Fortnite streamer as a career. I'm not joking. All of this happened. Okay? Now, maybe for those of us who were very young, they thought, wow, this is life now. This will be forever. We now have Fortnite as part of human existence, and it will always be culturally relevant. For the rest of us who've been around a little longer, we realize that these kind of trends happen all the time. That, yes, you'll get something that blows up and is culturally relevant for a while, but nothing lasts forever, right? Success is fleeting. And therefore, when you have success, you must be planning for the future and realize that the one thing that's good today will not be good in 5 years, 10 years. It will eventually die out, peter out, and you have to adjust for that, okay? Epic Games didn't do that. Epic Games said Fortnite, 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 Fortnite. They never thought to themselves, gee, maybe one day Fortnite won't be popular. And so what we should do is make more games, put our money into other ventures, do other things. They just said Fortnite, 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 Fortnite. They overexpanded. They overspent. They kept making new modes, new events. And although Fortnite did overstay its welcome as culturally relevant, the writing was on the wall that eventually it would not be. Today is the day that Fortnite is not culturally relevant. It's only relevant amongst the group of people who blew up in that sphere. Most people today do not talk about Fortnite. There are a couple million that probably follow it, engage it, care about the events in it, the seasons, etc. But admittedly, even just with this news here, that crowd is dwindling. It's on a downward trend. People who used to stream Fortnite full-time don't even like Fortnite anymore and are saying, we don't know what to do with our time because we don't like the new seasons. They're uninspired. They're not interesting. Just like anything. How long do you think this game is going to stay relevant? It's not. There is no game upon itself that will stay relevant for over a decade. You know what I'm saying? Like, then it becomes a meme. So, Epic Games did absolutely nothing to become relevant outside of Fortnite. So here they are about 10 years later, because I think it's been 9 years the game's been out now, 9 or 10. We're about the decade point at this point. And basically now, they're not making money anymore. They keep spending more than they're making. So what do? Do they say, well, let's take a look. I think the problem here is that the management didn't see what was coming, the writing on the wall. Therefore, let's gut the management. Let's fire all the managers who didn't know what they were doing, all the people at the top who didn't plan for this. Let's keep the talented engineers, developers, and people under our wing because they're the ones who are going to make the future products that are going to make us money. And let's fire the upper echelon of management who made the wrong decisions, mismanaged the company, and put us in the situation we're in. That's what happened today, right? No! The management keep their jobs, and the management get rid of over 1,000 employees who work hard. Does that seem to make sense? Did those 1,000 employees do the wrong thing and deserve to lose their jobs? Or were the people in charge the ones who did the wrong things and deserve to lose their jobs? Isn't it ass backward how all this works? So here we go. Some of the challenges we're facing are industry-wide challenges. Slower growth, weaker spending, and tougher cost economics. Current consoles selling less than last generations, and games competing for time against other increasingly engaging forms of entertainment. Wrong. Wrong. That entire paragraph is wrong. Okay? Here's the challenge you're facing. Complete lack of innovation, complete lack of foresight, and complete lack of intelligence. That's what you're lacking. These are not your challenges here. Your challenge is that you're a moron. Person who's writing this, I believe it's Tim Sweeney or whoever it is, you're a moron. You did not account for the fact that Fortnite would not be forever popular, and now you're failing. It has nothing to do with anything you just mentioned. Because guess what? Games are still selling. Games are still booming. Certain games are doing well. Just not you. Because you're dumb. Some of our challenges are unique to Epic. Despite Fortnite remaining one of the most successful games in the world, we've had challenges delivering consistent Fortnite magic with every new season. We're only in the early stages of returning to mobile and optimizing Fortnite for the world's billions of smartphones. And in being the industry's vanguard, we've taken a lot of bullets in a battle which is only in the early days of paying off for ourselves and all developers. He is so ignorant He actually thinks he's the first person or first company to experience something that went like culturally popular and then faded away after time. He actually believes that. He thinks no one's covered this ground before. There's never been a fad ever in history of humans. There's never been a fad. Since it's a thing now, I should note the layoffs aren't related to AI. To the extent it improves productivity, we want to have as many awesome developers developing great content as much as we can. What we now need to do is build awesome Fortnite experiences with fresh seasonal content, gameplay, story, and live events. Stop. Wrong. It's full stop. Wrong. You don't need to do any of that. You need to stop and understand that Fortnite is now in its swan song and is going to step off into the sunset, and within the next 5 years, Fortnite will die. Fortnite was lucky to have the level of success it ever had. It was the exception to the rule. It was a lucky shot in the dark for your company. You should be grateful you had the level of success you had. It's time to wake up, okay? The bubble has burst. The days of milk and honey are over. You now need to actually do something smart, intelligent, and have talent doing it. And maybe that's the problem, is that Fortnite never was that. Fortnite literally was, let's copy what everyone else did and just tape it together. Let's take the crafting mechanics of a game like Minecraft. Let's take the battle royale of a game like DayZ, and let's put it with cartoony things that look like Overwatch, and let's tape them all together and produce it as like it's an original product, when all you did was you stole other people's ideas, you taped it together, and you got lucky. And now, what we need to do is focus on Fortnite. You're a fucking idiot. You've actually proven right now with that one statement, you don't deserve to run Epic Games. You're an idiot. You already had your success with Fortnite. The question is, what is next? Not what was the past and what will continue. What is next for your company? Because if you keep focusing on the thing that was lucky, you will not exist. You will go out of business. You will go from one of the biggest gaming companies in history because of a viral hit to nothing. A footnote on a fucking textbook page in the history of video games because you're so dumb, you're squandering your chance to do something relevant again. Good Lord. How dumb can you be? Is every person in charge of a game company this stupid? It seems like it. Every time you read the statement from Yves Guillemot or Phil Spencer or now this guy, I believe this is Tim Sweeney, it's the dumbest stuff you've ever read in your life. Now listen to this. This isn't our first time being here. Epic survived upheavals in 1990s with the move from 2D to 3D with Unreal 1. In the 2000s, building console games with Gears of War. And in 2012, moving to online gaming with Paragon and Fortnite. So why don't you understand that you need to move on? You literally just mentioned 3 situations where there was a fad, there was a change, and you changed and moved on and succeeded. So then why in the paragraph before did you say the future is still Fortnite? You even have the history literally in the next paragraph explaining why it's time to move on, and you're too ignorant to see what you wrote. You're that dumb. Living in this insulated cloud, right? Why? Because he's at the top of the company. He's not the line level developer. He's not down in the trenches. He lives in his fucking ivory tower. He's rich as shit. And he doesn't understand the industry. Market conditions today are the most extreme we've seen. Wrong. The market conditions today are not the most extreme that you've ever seen. That's a complete lie. That's what you say when you're failing. You make excuses. This is an excuse for your failure. Your failure is directly reliant on the fact that if you made terrible decisions in the last 5 years, you put all your eggs in one basket, and you failed as a leader. Not because the market conditions are extreme. That's stupid. That's a dumb thing to say. At Epic, we pride ourselves in only hiring the industry's best. It's painful to see so many talented people go. Then don't let them go. Step down. Of course, he's saying these employees will get 6 months of severance pay, and they're going to get stock options accelerated. Well, yeah, it is Tim Sweeney. I was right. So here we go again. All right, seriously. Everyone thought that Tim Sweeney was such a smart guy. Oh my God, he made the most virally popular Epic game ever. Wow, they print money. There's no way they could fail. They're failing. They're failing because they don't know what they're doing. They never did. Again, Fortnite was luck. Fortnite was literally, let's take a shot in the dark because we don't know what we're doing. And this game, this stupid Fortnite game that's a tower defense with zombies is not going to sell. We need to do something different. And they tried something different and it exploded and worked by copying other people's work, taping it together. They're a decade now they've been popular printing money. Now the money train is finally dried up. So what do? Screw the people who did all the hard work all along. Screw them, take their jobs away. Don't punish the people who made the bad decisions. Sounds like a plan. Okay. Let's see here. Alex from Phoenix says he likely surrounded himself with yes men who won't protest his actions. Could be. You really have to wonder, these companies that have high highs, how do they then tank so badly? Really? Like, how are you at the top of the world? And you have track records of success and you know what's going on and you still act so poorly. Like, I don't know. For me, listen. The only thing I can do is speak from my experience, all right? When I was on top of the world as a big gaming YouTuber, I had no idea what to do. Why? Because I was one of the first. I was one of an innovative group of people who was at the top of the gaming landscape with YouTube back in the day, all right? No one knew what to do. Some people went one way, some people went another way, some people acted one way, some people made this content, some people collabed, some people joined this company or whatever. There was no track record of anything. It was all first-time, groundbreaking shit, to be frank, okay? So I made tons of mistakes. I didn't know how to behave. I didn't have anyone to guide, no one to go off of. That would be like today, someone who gets into gaming on YouTube, and they just make every mistake possible in a row, despite the fact that there's so many people who have come before them who you could follow their examples and learn from their mistakes, right? Literally, Tim Sweeney is sitting there in his statement saying, we have to make more Fortnite content. Oh, by the way, here's 3 examples where we moved on from previous things that we were doing because we overcame and adapted. But by the way, we're not going to do that. We're going to keep making more Fortnite content. I just don't understand these people. I guess I can't. Maybe because I live in a different world than them, right? I came from nothing, you know. I didn't come from having money. I didn't come from being popular or being in the industry or being an insider or, you know what I mean? Like, I just came from nowhere, and all of a sudden I blew up on YouTube. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And yeah, I botched a lot of it along the way. But I just don't think this way that they do. That like, oh, my shit, you know, my shit doesn't stink. I didn't make any mistakes. Just lay off 1,000 people so we can stay profitable. Huh? No, the laying off of the 1,000 people is a direct evidence that you made mistakes. Because if you're successful, you would never have to lay off people like that. Like, ever. Not switching to a capture card sooner back then was your biggest blunder. You can't stay stuck in one place. Well, when you think about it, I started doing videos as a hobby in 2008. Okay? I didn't actually monetize content or start doing it as a job until early 2011. Okay? And then I went direct capture early 2013. So arguably, 2 years, I did it with the camera pointed at the TV. And because of that, I delayed my live streaming. And I delayed the better quality, for sure. It's weird because back then, everyone yelled at me saying you were a dinosaur. But now, you look at it and it's like, well, it was only 2 years out of 18 years that I've made content. Like, since 2013, I've done the more modern stuff, you know? But I agree, I was very stubborn back then. For sure. I was very pig-headed. I didn't want to listen, right? I didn't want to say, oh, I got to change with the times. I got to do things better. You know, you're right. I was very ignorant at that point. So maybe you can argue the 2 years of 2011 to 2013 when everyone was telling me to improve and I refused was my era when I was like these stubborn CEOs of gaming companies that had no fucking clue what they're doing. Maybe. Oh, that's exactly what happened. Layla the Witch says, do you think Fortnite got too cocky and now they're paying for it? Here's what they did. They got too complacent. They were at the top of the world, and rather than saying, okay, Success is fleeting. We know we won't be here forever. What do we do to future-proof? What do we have cooking next down the pipeline that's not Fortnite? So when Fortnite finally does start to ride into the sunset, because it's going to get sunsetted eventually, it's not going to be popular forever, we have the next big thing. They literally didn't do that at all. They just said Fortnite, 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 and even now, we're laying off 1,000 employees. So what's best for our company? What's going to fix this? Fortnite, Fortnite, Fortnite. That's the dumbest thinking I've ever heard. And this guy's in charge of the company. Yikes. Complacency is the most common denominator with dying businesses. I will have to agree. If you become complacent and you become set in your ways and you refuse to innovate and you refuse to improve and you refuse to change and you refuse to do new things and to try new ventures and to venture out and do innovation and fun, if you don't take feedback, if you don't listen to feedback, if you don't listen to the customer base, you will fail.